Happy Saturday, folks. It's your girl, Trina Michelle. Hope your week was great. Um, Mine was pretty good. Can't complain. I'm going to get right into it. Today, I want to talk about Be the Change. I've been thinking about that all week, and I heard some podcasts on it. You know how it is when you have something that you're thinking about. It seems like everything you listen to, you can kind of relate to it. Podcast, sermon, went to midweek service, same thing. So, want to talk a little bit about that. You know how sometimes we want a situation to change on our job, in our families, with our friends, or what have you. You know, I think sometimes we forget that the change that we want oftentimes starts with us. I'm reminded of a quote by Gandhi: Be the change you want to see in the world. So, at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to ensure that what we want our world to look like, not only around us, but in totality, we need to exude that. So if you want a more kinder world, be kind. If you want a more loving world, walk in love. If you want your job to be less stressful, stop adding to the chatter. You know, it's so easy, to get to the lunchroom table or what have you, and somebody always has a complaint about the boss, about the pay, about something. But wouldn't it be amazing if you or I would not feed into that and give a positive response rather than a negative? And I know sometimes it's hard to do because you're right there and you slip in and you start talking, but be mindful of that. Be mindful. You're going to probably get looked at like you're crazy, like, well, who is she? Miss Goody Two Shoes, what have you. But yeah, I want to see a change, so I'm going to be about that change. Again, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but something worth it rarely is easy. And I'm reminded of the scripture in 2 Corinthians 6:17, where it says, Be ye separate, come out from among them and be ye separate. And I have been walking in that, doing my very best this week. It used to come to me fairly, I will say, easy, or that was my mindset at one time. But as life happens, struggles, whatever, you may not necessarily have the job you want, or you're underemployed, or all these other things happen. It's so easy to start being a complainer. And I was really confronted with that this week. Trina, you've been somewhat of a little bit of a complainer. I've done better, but I still have a ways to go. And sometimes it's just amazing to me how in the past some things were not a problem. Keep it going, keep it pushing. But again, life happens, things go on, and if you're not mindful, and if you don't stay committed to that thing, you can become the problem. So my new commitment, recommitted to being the change, because there are some things that I want to see change in my community, in my life, in my relationships. So I'm going to start out being that. I heard a podcast earlier this week, and the lady said, we always want the majority to change and do this and do that. And she said, well, slavery wasn't abolished because the majority wanted it to be abolished. Women didn't get the right to vote because the majority wanted that. It's always the minority. It's always that grassroots effort that makes things happen in our country, with our laws, in our lives. So be that person. If it's just you for now, it will become contagious, I truly believe, and all will be well. Sorry about the gurgle. It's raining, and so the river is rising and doing all those little things that it does. So, anywho, have a great week. Find somewhere to worship tomorrow, and I will see you next Saturday. Be that change that you want the world to be, and watch your world change.